Every year, millions of lives are lost or affected by disease. People of all ages and lifestyles are at risk. Increasingly, stem cells that are found in umbilical cord blood are being used to treat a long list of life-threatening diseases. According to published estimates, the odds that your child or a family member will need to use stem cells for currently available transplant treatments are 1 in 217 by age 70.
The first umbilical cord blood transplant was done in 1989, and since then there's been about 15,000 transplants done using cord blood worldwide. They're mainly used to treat blood disorders. So umbilical cord blood is identical to bone marrow. The stem cells are the same. So any disease you can use to treat using bone marrow as a source of stem cells, you can use cord blood. They're virtually interchangeable.
Currently, cord blood is being used to treat over 75 diseases, and researchers are exploring new treatment possibilities.
There are studies currently going on that are attempting to use cord blood to treat things like type 1 diabetes and cerebral palsy. And in my lab, we are doing studies to treat spinal cord injury with umbilical cord blood.
Cord blood has become many doctors' preferred source of stem cells for treatment because studies show it may carry less risk to a future recipient.
One of the things that happens with cord blood is because some of the cells are a little immature is you don't have as many rejection problems or graft versus host disease problems.
The cord blood collection process has advantages too.
Umbilical cord blood has several advantages over bone marrow as a source of blood stem cells. One is they're much easier to collect. The person who's donating doesn't have to go into a hospital overnight and have the cells removed from their bone marrow. It's basically the umbilical cord is discarded at birth, and just before they throw it out, they can collect the blood from it and collect the cells. So it's very simple.
It's not something that would cause any pain or anything like that whatsoever. You can continue bonding with your child as the doctors take care of the collection.
Because of the importance of stem cells for research and treating disease, a growing number of expectant parents are making the decision to have their cord blood samples collected and stored. If needed, these samples can be used in the future to help treat the child or possibly provide a match for a family member.
So for a family that's already banked the umbilical cord blood, there are advantages to doing this, obviously. One of them is it's a 100% match for that child that donated that blood. So if that child comes down with some disease, especially a regenerative medicine disease, something that you'll want to use your own cells, then it will be a perfect match and there'll be no rejection problems. For blood diseases, it's more likely to be used for a sibling, and in that case there's a 1 in 4 chance it'll be a match, which means it's much easier then to find a sample than it is at the bone marrow registry, for example.
Our son was diagnosed with a bone marrow disease when I was 7 months pregnant with my daughter, and his disease that he had was myelodysplastic syndrome, which there's no cure for, no chemo, no medication to take, and the only course of action was a bone marrow transplant. And then being pregnant, they said, well, your best chance is to collect the cord blood from your new baby and hope she's a match. We didn't know at the time. So we collected her cord blood when she was born, and then did all the testing to find out that she was a 5 out of 6 match. So we used her cord blood for his bone marrow transplant about 4.5 months later.
For expectant parents, nothing is more important than ensuring a healthy future for their child. That's why Inception specializes exclusively in cord blood banking. Inception Cord Blood Program is committed to providing the best choice for parents looking to take the first step in protecting their family's health.
We found that was affordable, and that was something we should definitely consider as a good insurance plan, as it were, for our children.
I would absolutely recommend that anybody would bank their umbilical cord blood. Should you find yourself in the position where your child is actually sick, anything that you can do to help improve the odds that they will actually get better is more than worth its price.
You always think, oh, it won't happen to me. I won't need it. But you know what? We probably thought the same thing, and you just think it'll never happen to you, and for what it costs, it's so worth it.
Growing out of a partnership between Canada's first and largest family cord blood bank and a team of world-renowned research scientists, Inception now has one of the largest state-of-the-art facilities in the world.
The mission of Insception Biosciences is to advance or increase the usefulness and effectiveness of stem cells for transplantation and for cellular therapy. We do so while we're living our values, which are our commitment to quality, a commitment to innovation, a commitment to the client, to teamwork, to integrity. We strive to be the world's leading stem cell services company.
The Inception cord blood program has preserved over 31,000 cord blood samples from families, enabling many family members to receive life-saving transplants and cellular therapies.
We've released a number of samples, the greatest number of samples, to transplant or cellular therapy, more than the competition combined. These transplants have been successful, and we've had a number of incidents of people coming in to tell us their stories. In some cases, these families have collected and stored their cord blood with no history of disease in their family, and with good fortune, they've been able to use the stem cells from the cord blood in treating their children successfully.
We actually don't have a family history of the disease that Leo ended up being diagnosed with, so we were blissfully unaware at birth that we would actually end up using the umbilical cord blood. When Leo was 4 months old, we noticed in a flash photograph a white haze over his left eye in the pupil, and actually, as it turned out, that ended up being a malignant tumor, so he was diagnosed with retinoblastoma, which is a childhood eye cancer. We had no idea that we would actually even end up using the stem cells when we had them banked, and in the end we were very, very thankful that we did, because it could have turned out to actually save Leo's life.
The birth of a child represents a new beginning in your family's life and a one-time opportunity to store the stem cells that could one day save a family member's life. Unlock the cures of tomorrow together with Insception Biosciences. To learn more, visit Inception.com or call the number on your screen.